are you sure, and double check. But yeah.
Are you okay? You think?
Yeah. Bonjour. Welcome to France.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would absolutely love it if you like these videos, if you like this content, if you want to see more of this, if you would like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps to grow my channel, it helps to get the videos out there, and it inspires me to keep creating. Honestly, I've been having a great time making these Big Brother videos, so I hope to, continue, and I hope that you guys are really liking the content. So we are going to get into yesterday's live feed recap. This is going to be a feed recap for the 29th. And a lot happened, okay? A lot happened last night. I was actually kind of in shock because I feel like these 2 days, usually between the, we did have the renom, but I just feel like it started off slow. Like there was a lot of random talk, but there was definitely some decent conversations in there. I feel like another Angela meltdown, it might be coming. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like Angela is kind of going off the deep end, so the target may end up shifting yet again. Let's just get into it. So we start off yesterday with Chelsea having camera talk, and she is saying at this point she, like, no matter what, wants either Lisa, Leah, or MJ out. As we maybe remember, Leah is especially somebody that Chelsea's kind of like not feeling. She's not really feeling the showmance, quote unquote, that her and Cam had, and Leah does become aware of that throughout yesterday. That definitely comes to her radar and to her attention, that this showmance, is being put onto her, and she doesn't like it. But overall, Chelsea is definitely not feeling that showmance. It has definitely been on her radar. MJ with the power, obviously. Don't really want MJ in the game. And then, of course, Lisa, who was the original target due to whatever reason. Lisa is the target for everyone. So Chelsea and Brooklyn are sitting up in the HOH, and they have a long talk about Leah. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I think the girls are getting kind of weird with it all, because they're either dragging Lisa or they're either dragging Leah at this point, and I don't know. It's just getting to be a lot. But they're talking about Leah, how she's using all of the guys, especially Cam. She's kind of like faking this showmance with him in order to get, further along and have more allies. So that's all that we really see before the renom ceremony. The renom does happen, and we don't immediately find out it is Tucker. Tucker is the renom, but we don't immediately find out. The camera actually comes back to Tikor and Chelsea talking about putting people up. Chelsea is saying, look, Lisa is a risk worth taking, but at this point, others not so much. Because remember, there was the floating possibility, again, of Leah going up, of MJ going up, of Cam going up, and ultimately, she just went with the safe bet, which was Tucker, especially after he had volunteered to go up. Now, Chelsea does say she really wants to get MJ up at some point to flush the power. And she is criticizing MJ for telling Tucker about the power in the first place, which I don't know. Like, with these powers, people are telling people, and I feel like it's going nowhere. Like, I don't know. Like, why are you telling Tucker? But then she told Tucker, and then Tucker told everybody, and now Mackenzie's kind of like safe now because nobody wants to touch the power because of the America component. So for me, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, was it worth it, or should she have just hit it, kept it in the background? So Chelsea is also talking about how Tucker offered himself as a pawn, which I think is a terrible idea. I said already on TikTok yesterday, by the way, more reality TV show content on my TikTok. But I already said, I see a world where Tucker goes home. I really do. I see a world where if it's Tucker versus Angela, or even Tucker versus Lisa, that Tucker goes home. I feel like the target has shifted so much between the two that are those two, you know, Angela and Lisa, and these people get misted incredibly easy. I could see either one of them talking their way out of it and Tucker ending up going home as a pawn, which is crazy. I don't know why we're offering to be pawns at this point. Again, it seems like people have this presumption that Tucker is going to win the AI arena and take himself off. And I'm just not 100% convinced about any of that. I don't know. So, Chelsea also reveals to T-Core that Leah and MJ were offering to put T-Core up as a pawn. She does tell T-Core that, and T-Core's like, what, me? So yeah, it's definitely getting to a point where especially Leah is coming into the line of fire. People are starting to realize that she is not trustworthy. And I mean, I agree. I don't think Leah's trustworthy. I think Leah tells people what they want to hear. So Lisa and Leah are also having a conversation post veto ceremony. Now, Lisa, excuse me, is talking about how this is starting to feel very high school bully. She's been the target for 2 weeks, but she was never a popular kid. As we know, Leah, blah, 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 blah. She hammers on. So she's like, I wasn't popular either. No one really liked me. I was always on the outside. But Lisa overall says she doesn't like where things are going. She realizes that people are constantly making fun of her, Tucker, and she just doesn't like it. It's really bringing her to a place that she doesn't like, which I agree. I think Tucker is doing a lot. I'll be honest, Tucker's kind of soured. For me, he's kind of souring himself because, like, I don't like Lisa that much. But I feel like Tucker is acting like he's not very similar. And I do think they are similar people at the end of the day. So, Brooklyn and Joe are talking, and Brooklyn said that, you know, she's kind of explaining her choice during the vote to decide to vote Matt out rather than voting with the other side. She said that the conversation Thursday morning made her feel more comfortable with going with the house after she had the conversation with T-Core and Chemo to kind of, like, solidify that. She says that taking things out of it, Lisa is a better player and she is more likely to win the HOH. And then there's also the potential of her having a power. Angela only wins game of chance, according to Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is definitely kind of more erring on the side of taking out Lisa than Angela. Because Lisa, to her, is supposedly more of a threat, which I don't get it. I'm going to be honest. Not sure. Saying Angela only wins games of chance. Okay, sure. Now, Leah and Chelsea also have a one-on-one, and they're chatting in the HOH. Leah, at this point, feels like Lisa isn't a girl's girl. Remember, Lisa and Leah have this alliance. It's not a named alliance, but it's a alliance. But now, Leah, is going back up to the HOH saying, I'm not really feeling Lisa. Chelsea says that Lisa is going too hard in the paint. You know, they definitely seem like they're more on the side of getting Lisa out. And Leah also mentions that she's avoiding Cam because he told her he had a dream about her the previous night, which I was like, ugh, is that true? Chemo and T-Core talk, and they have a long conversation.
And then I don't know if we can talk about.
So definitely put some clips in here, but I'm really liking this duo, Chemo and T-Core. I'm rooting for them. Like, I am, you know, guns blazing, rooting for that duo. I really like both of them. So they're talking about who they would put up if they won. At this point, T-Core says she's not really sure, but she does want to solidify an 8-person alliance if they have the numbers. Okay. Didn't love that. Like, I don't know. I don't think these big majority alliances are that useful, but I see where she's coming from. Then they start to list out the people they have. She says that they have Brooklyn, Tucker, Cam, Joseph, Cedric, and potentially Kenny? I wasn't sure about the read on that one. I will say T-Core's read isn't always the best, because I was like, I don't know that Kenny wants to work in that alliance with y'all, and we'll see later about where Kenny's at. Now, Tigor does mention that she's not sure who Kenny wants to work with in the house. Chemo says that Kenny always told him that he's not aligned with anybody, and we do see him tell that to someone else later. But Tigor is willing to pull in Kenny at this point. Tigor also confirms that Rubina is officially kind of with them as well. And they get into how Cam never talks game with anybody, which I think a couple of people have now mentioned that Cam is really never talking game. Again, people just think he's here in the showmance. So, Leah and Tucker have a conversation in the bathroom. It's not really about much, but I just thought it was an interesting piece because I like all of the aspects of Big Brother, seeing people's personalities, the psychological effects. They actually have a conversation about how dirty it is in the house.
Started. That's just not in me. But this tests you in a lot of different ways, and it's just.
Tucker is talking about how people are dirty, there's bugs in the house, there's bugs in the shower, all of these different things. And I feel like every season there's like a few house guests that are actually really clean people that are like talk about how disgusting the house is. That's why, I don't know, people ask me if I'd ever be on Big Brother, and there's a lot of reasons why my answer is no, but that's one of them. I just could not picture either A, having to be one of like the 2 or 3 people that actually cleans on a regular basis and having to clean for 12, 15, 16 other people, or B, having to live in a filthy ant-infested house. Like, I don't know. For me, that could not be the vibe, among many other things. The conversation shifts, and Leah is talking about how she's not sure what to do in the game. Again, Leah is really on to the fact that people are kind of skeptical of her. So she says, you know, if she's a comp beast, you know, people are going to target her. If she doesn't win comp, she's a floater. Tucker says, look, the game doesn't really start till week 4. I think he's implying because of the powers, that after the powers are flushed, then the game will really start. He said he's just floating, getting past the 2 people that he really wants out, which are Lisa and Angela. Leah is concerned because it looks like she's in a showmance, but that's not actually what she signed up for. Tucker says, you know, I get it, you know, with Rubina, we are flirty, you know, and things like that, but we know in the house, we can't do that. Maybe outside the house, we'll explore it more, but for now, that's a no. And then Cam comes in and he starts talking with Tucker and Leah about MJ's power and how it's going to work logistically. And they're all just kind of in this conversation about, like, when will the vote be? Like, the house guests literally have no idea about how the power will work either. So meanwhile, we finally get a full Angela conversation.
Do with it as you choose, but it's very interesting. You'll love it. But hopefully I can stay and we can play and we can use this power between the 2 of us.
All right.
Angela and Kenny have a talk, and they have quite a bit of a long talk. So look, Angela says she has something very interesting that she will tell Kenny, but she will only tell him if she ends up leaving the house. Angela does say, look, I want to stay. I want to win HOH again. At this point, it can't get worse. These people don't like me. She doesn't really want to hear from anyone at this point because it is what it is. Now, Angela does try to pitch an alliance with Kenny. She tells Kenny, if I stay, I want to work with you. Kenny says the same thing he said to Chemo. I'm good with not being aligned with anybody. I can't, say yes, like it's so early in the game. He calls her out, actually, for saying, look, I feel like you wanted a bigger alliance, and when that didn't work out, now you kind of are, like, scrambling, looking for something else. You're panicking. And I was like, man, he called her out. And she's like, that's true. That's true. Now, he claims he wants to stay unaligned with anybody for the next 3 weeks. Kenny says he'll tell whoever is the next HOH that they can put him up because he wants to fight for his game fair and square and he wants to put his game in his own hands. I don't get Kenny's strategy. I gotta be honest, Kenny's getting on my nerves. Kenny is getting on my nerves, okay? I did my player rankings last week on TikTok. Again, here is my TikTok for more reality TV show content, including Big Brother. Kenny's gonna probably be at my bottom again because Kenny is getting on my nerves. Kenny is getting on my nerves. I don't get his strategy. I don't get his point. I don't get what he's going for. None of it makes sense to me. Um, after that, Lisa and Cedric are also talking meanwhile, and Lisa is literally spiraling because nobody thinks she's a chef.
Through the world as a chef.
Yeah, right.
And you guys will find out in a few months that I am still a chef.
Yeah, I mean.
But whatever people want to think in here,
Yeah.
that's on them. But it's so funny because
Everyone is assuming she's lying. They think she has a power. They think her job is fake. So she's just spiraling, talking to Cedric. And I always commend Cedric. Cedric is one of my, big surprises. I like Cedric so much more than I thought I was gonna like him. He's so mature. He literally lets these ladies blabber on. Both Angela and Lisa just unload on Cedric, and he just takes it. I think Cedric, I like him a lot more than I thought I would. Now Angela has some camera talk after she and Kenny are done talking.
And Cam and Leah are definitely flirtatious and definitely probably kissing behind closed doors late at night. Not the slippers.
Oh yeah, the slippers have made it. This is what.
And she is wondering if Kenny can help her figure out what to do with the knowledge of Quinn's power if she does end up staying. But she says, hey, it's smart that he doesn't want to align with me yet. Some hours pass. When I tell y'all, in this house, things move quickly. Okay, some hours pass. Angela blows up Quinn's game. Angela decides she has had enough, and she goes to tell Tucker about Quinn's power.
I already knew you knew because when I was up there and you were having that conversation with me when I was really hurting and you kind of came to my rescue, you kind of said that you thought Joseph had it and you asked me, did I know or did I have any idea? You were looking at my face to see if I would give away Quinn, but I didn't.
Tucker doesn't believe her. Tucker does not believe her. Tucker's like, sure thing. Tucker doesn't believe her. She then, in front of Quinn, tells Tucker that she plans to blow Quinn's game up if she stays. So at this point, Quinn is mad. Quinn is mad at Angela. It's not looking good for those two. I'm assuming we're going to see some fireworks today. I will be seated in front of the live feeds today. Seated. Act like I'm not always seated in front of the live feeds, but I will be seated. Now, Kenny also decides that he's on his Zoom. Kenny says he goes around to all of the guys in the house, including Chemo, suspecting that there's a girls' alliance.
Because Brooklyn's the glue that's going to hold them all together.
He says that they need to start getting these girls out, that Brooklyn is the one holding the glue together, holding the girls together. She's the glue of that alliance. And Chemo goes and spills all the beans back to T-Core, and they're just like, what? That? Chuck? Kenny and Angela, they on their Zoom. I don't know what's going on, but those two are going off the deep end. That's kind of like the big things that happen in the house. Other things of note. Angela's real estate profile was taken off of her. It was scrubbed from the website that she works for, the company, the realtor company website. There we go. Her page was scrubbed off of that completely. Her boss came out and said stuff. I'll put on the screen if you want to read it. Tucker and Lisa also have a little fight over Dijon mustard, whether it is a type or a flavor. And this is all because they're debating on what can actually be used on slop. I thought it was just kind of funny. Those two, the snippiness, they just do not like each other. At some point, they all have a convo about the live feeds and people clipping clips and making YouTube videos and Twitters. And I just think it's funny, all of the kickbacks, because there are a lot of super fans.
Much more impressive that you see those clips on TikTok and stuff. So shout out to the people who do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because you can't rewind a live video.
Around.
What?
He said shout out to the people.
That's true.
Mentioned Rob has a podcast. I just think it's really funny that they're so aware. Some of the people in the house are so aware of the BB community. So I thought that was pretty funny. Chelsea and Leah also have a conversation about her having a showmance with Cam. Leah says she really wants to distance from it because it is effing up her ish. And, she also kind of has this same conversation with Brooklyn. So again, Leah is fully aware that people are onto her and looking at her as a threat because of her supposed showmance with Cam. Then she's like debating with Chelsea whether or not to actually go for Cam, whether it's worth it. And Chelsea's like, well, can you see something like outside of here? And Leah says she doesn't casual date, you know, she doesn't just date to date. So I don't know where her head is at, but and lastly, Angela and Kenny have just been talking a lot. Over the course of the day, we saw a lot of Angela and Kenny conversations. So yeah, that was yesterday, y'all. There was a lot. Like, I feel like yesterday was action-packed. Like, it didn't seem like on the surface there was a lot going on, but when you were really watching these feeds, I was like, whoa, 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 I have a lot. So anyways, if you made it to this point, that means you probably liked the video. So it would really, really mean the world to me if you guys could drum up the engagement on these videos. If you could like, share, comment, you know, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. All of this really helps the videos to get out more, get more impressions, and more people see it. You know, more and more of you guys are coming every day, and it really is awesome to connect with more Big Brother lovers. I've always loved this show. I've been watching this show for 16 seasons now. So I'm just so excited to talk to other people who love this show. But anyway, let's end it here. And, you know, if you have not followed my TikTok, go follow that. Anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next recap. Bye!